Trigger warning. This is your one and only warning right now. I'm gonna let you read the headline first before we go ahead and continue on the rest of the story, because this may cause uncontrolled crying, outbursts of anger, as well as throwing your phone saying what the fuck. And if you're still here, let's go ahead and start the story. This is 31-year-old Brandon Thoma and 24-year-old Taylor Blaha, who lives in Fort Dodge, Iowa with their 2-year-old son. In April of 2022, Taylor found out she was pregnant, but throughout her pregnancy, she realized she didn't want the child, and so throughout the time she was pregnant, she kept trying to have miscarriages, but failed, all because in the state of Iowa, you can't have an abortion if it's over 6 weeks. So after her failed attempts to have the miscarriage, she decided to go ahead and have the child, but she made an arrangement with her sister that once she has the child, she's going to go ahead and have her sister adopt it. So everything was going fine all the way up until November of 2022, when Taylor had called the Iowa Department of Human Services, where she told them that she just recently had a baby and she had buried a child in an undisclosed location. When police arrived at the scene, they went ahead and questioned both Taylor and Brandon to try to determine what had happened, and Taylor has confessed to what actually happened that day. Taylor told police that she had gave birth to her newborn daughter in the bathroom while Brandon was in the bedroom just minding his own business, and she called him into the bathroom to go ahead and give her some meth to help ease the pain up. And during the time period, both of them were as high as a kite. And so when she gave birth, the baby was alive and kicking and breathing and everything else. But when the baby started crying, both parents went into a paranoia state. And due to the fact that they was paranoid, they was afraid of the fact that once the baby had started crying, they was afraid that the neighbor was going to report them to law enforcement, the police would show up, and they would find that the baby actually had meth in their system. So Brandon had one of the dumbest ideas you can ever think of, and actually convinced Taylor to fill the bathtub up halfway with water, place the baby in it, and they both placed their hands on the chest and submerged the child in the water until the baby stopped breathing. Because even the fact that they actually drowned their own child, they actually named her Kaylin Lee Blaha. Once the child had drowned, that Brandon had went ahead and put the child in a plastic container and then put multiple plastic bags around it and then stuffed her into a black book bag. And then he was actually caught on security cameras of the apartment complex, leaving the place, and then could return 20 minutes later with an empty book bag. So once Taylor told them the whole entire story of what actually happened, police actually arrested both parents on first-degree murder. Now, during their whole entire investigation, while they was trying to charge with murder, they went ahead and asked Brandon if they can go ahead and disclose the location where he actually buried a child, and for some reason, he really couldn't remember where he buried a child at. He gave him one place to go look at, they couldn't find a child there, and then he said that he may have buried her north of the landfill in the area, and so when they could go excavate the area, they still couldn't find the child. Earlier this year, both parents took a plea deal. So Taylor actually took a plea deal instead of getting first-degree murder. She got bumped down to second-degree murder, where she has to do 50 years in prison, where she has to do 70% of her time, which equals up to 35 years, and she'd be eligible for parole. Brandon, on the other hand, got his bump down from first-degree murder down to child abuse with the result of death, as well as the abuse of a corpse. As of right now, the Fort Dodge Police Department is offering a $1,500 reward to anybody that comes up with any information on where the child can be located at.